Football is a strange game at times. It brings up interesting scenarios. One of the key things the Chelsea fan base are talking about, and it's a hot topic at the moment, is Timo Werner. Timo Werner, ladies and gentlemen, is put on a bit of a spanner in the mix in recent times with Southampton and Real Madrid, and now people are in a bit of a limbo. I mean, a lot of people want him to start against Crystal Palace, but they're just a bit confused as to what's going on, and this is something we need to talk about.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to talk about Timo Werner and also a little bit in regards to Romelu Lukaku. I think at the end of the day, we just want to talk about our strikers and what the scene is at the moment with this situation. Now, look, I'm not going to sit here and deny the fact that I've been highly critical at times, maybe even slandered Timo Werner, whether it be watch-alongs, whether it be videos, and I'm pretty sure majority of you guys have done the same thing. There is definitely a small minority that has always truly been backing Timo Werner, and I suppose understanding his skill set and being true to the fact that whatever Timo Werner we have seen at Chelsea Football Club so far is not really the Timo Werner that they know from prior days to Chelsea. However, fans like myself, we felt that we've seen enough. We saw the fundamentals. There were some key fundamentals, whether it be ball control, first touch, decision making, I suppose shooting accuracy and whatnot. They were all not in the level of what Chelsea Football Club requires. But a strange situation has happened over the last couple of games. Southampton and Real Madrid, two very different games in contrast if you really think about it. You look at the Southampton game and Timo Werner did really well, really well against the team that was a bit naive when it came to defending, high line, lots of gaps opened up. Yeah, they did tighten up in the second half, but even then, Timo Werner did well, ended up getting that second goal. And a lot of people, their conclusion, including me, was that, look, do you know what? Yeah, he looked great, but that looked like the Bundesliga Timo Werner. That looked like the Timo Werner that had so much space, like in Bundesliga, and did the damage. And you can see what his pace is capable of when given the space. Then comes the Real Madrid game. A few people had him starting, few people didn't. I think I had him starting considering the fact that he did so well in the Southampton game that, maybe there was something going on with him, Havertz and Mason Mount. There was a good connection going on. It was the same connection that was doing well last season in the Champions League as well. Our glory to Champions League, that trio did really well. So he starts. And this time, ladies and gentlemen, you can't even say that he did well because it was Southampton, high line, lots of gaps. He did well against a Real Madrid team that predominantly sat either mid-block to low block. Real Madrid, pretty much up until the 75th minute when they were down 3-0, they were defending their hearts out. They were under siege from us. And I kid you not, ladies and gentlemen, that was probably Timo Werner's best performance I've seen in a Chelsea jersey. He was electric, borderline man of the match, I would have to say, along with Mason Mount. Mason Mount probably pips it. Even Reece James did really well. Antonio Rudiger, even though, we conceded later on. But Timo Werner, when he was subbed off against Real Madrid, I think that made us lose a bit of momentum. Things didn't look that great as soon as he came off up front. And the interesting part was he was playing against a very tight defense, a low block situation to a mid block, his link up, his touches, his hold up, the way he slid that pass through for Mason Mount for that assist, and the way he took his opportunity for the goal, the third goal, the all important third goal, the way he was on the left side. Timo Werner of the past, or Timo Werner of earlier this season, goes into further on the left and tries to smash it with his left foot, and it would have hit the side nets. But this Timo Werner cut in, then he took another step to beat another defender and slotted that shot in. Yes, it was deflected, so be it. But the intention was clear. The intention was clear. The execution in his head, he knew what he wanted to do. And for me, ladies and gentlemen, it comes to a situation where I have to say, is our attackers somewhat suffering? The caliber of attackers that we have, the characteristic of attackers that we have, are they sometimes suffering with this three at the back, the wing back style? It's something to really think about, because Southampton, four at the back, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, as much as you guys want to believe he played as a wing back, not necessarily. He was not your classical wing back like an Ashraf Hakimi or even Reece James, wide right, touching the hugging the touch lines on the right side, blistering pace on the right, 1v1. No, he was playing more as RCM. He was playing more in the midfield. And Reece James, obviously against Southampton, I believe it was Christensen. Reece James was more in the Real Madrid game. Reece James, especially looking at the Real Madrid, I mean, it was pretty much the same for the Southampton one. Christensen, both of those players were acting as a right back. And in essence, we were using Rudiger and Silva as two of the CBs and Alonso as the left back. And I don't know whether this has allowed for a little bit more freedom for players up front. Timo likes to be in a two-man up front. I think that's well documented now, the way he used to play in Leipzig as well. He had Poulsen, I believe, up there, in Leipzig. Now he's got Kai Havertz. And the fact that Mason is just behind them, more or less, trying to attack that space in between or the half spaces, I think that dynamic suits Timo Werner, as opposed to being as an inside forward on the left side, ladies and gentlemen. That kind of isolates him, and that's not his game. He's not an Ousmane Dembele. He's not a Rafinha. He's not many other players like your Bowen of West Ham. I think we need to understand the characteristics of some of these players and really understand, well, how are they being utilized? I think similar thing can be said about Mason Mount as well, ladies and gentlemen. Mason, in the last two games, has looked unbelievable. Now, you can say, well, he still had the stats, goals and assists previous to that. Yeah, he did. But for me, he never looked great, even with those goals and assists. But the last two games, oh my God, Mason has looked good. And I think it has to do with, Ruben playing on the right, Kovacic playing more as a midfield on the left side, left midfield, Kante sort of more reserve role, not in those advanced areas where we sometimes see Kante playing in that KDB role, which is crazy. And then you've got Alonso, playing more traditional left back, up and down. So it allows more of a combination play with Kovacic, Timo, Alonso. And I think Timo is staying much closer to the goals, having more link with Mount and Havertz. It's really, really helped him out. It really has helped him out. And the fact that he's now got Kovacic and Alonso on that left side even helps him out furthermore. So, look, we're going to explore this situation a little bit more, talk about Lukaku as well. Is Lukaku also in the same mold? Look, for me, Timo Werner, the one thing I like about Timo Werner is he's always tried. The effort has always been there. I don't think I can always say the same thing about Lukaku. That is my biggest issue with Lukaku. For me, I'm not one of those guys that think Romelu Lukaku is not even a footballer. I can't. I think there's a superb footballer in there. You don't go from being one of the best strikers in Serie A to not be able to do anything in the Premier League. He's done it before in the Premier League, whether it's Everton, whether it's West Brom, even at Man United, as bad as he was, he still banged in goals. And we saw what Romelu Lukaku was capable of earlier in this season when things were going all right. So for me, with Lukaku, it's more to do with the attitude. It's more to do with the work ethics. Whereas with Werner, at least one thing you can say is his work ethics. The only thing I was a bit upset recently when Werner made that comment in international duty saying, "Oh, German football kind of suits me more." Um, I feel like, yeah, look, some people have been saying that, look, that's justified. He wasn't speaking anything wrong. But for me, the way I looked at it is that, my man, you haven't had a very good season. No need to be running your mouth in international duty to spark, the Chelsea fan base to go, absolutely mayhem on you. So that's the only thing. But in terms of effort, Timo Werner has always given effort. Let's have a look at some of the quotes online at the moment. Thomas Tuchel has been impressed and stated that Timo Werner has played very good in the last 2 games. This is from Adam Newson. Interesting point. Tuchel says that he feels like Wembley and Bernabeu are bigger pitches than Stamford Bridge, and Stamford Bridge's pitch is so narrow. And if this is the case, then he'd think about including an extension of the pitch into the stadium redevelopment discussion. Now, that could be a big part of Timo Werner's success in recent times as well. The fact that some of the pitches that we've been playing are bigger than Stamford Bridge. But then again, look, it's not like he hasn't done well in Stamford Bridge. We just need to create space for him. This is what we need to do. We need to figure out how can we bring a game that is more conducive to him. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But if this is one of the major components, maybe something to think about when the new owners come in terms of redevelopment. Thomas Tuchel and Timo Werner. Now he has made it difficult to leave him out. I'm impressed. He was very, very good in the last 2 games. These were the 2 games when he was much better than in any other game, and he showed what he's capable of. I agree. I completely agree with Thomas Tuchel saying. We've done a poll on YouTube community page. You guys would have seen. I'm pretty sure. Let me just have a quick look at that. We've had 707 votes on that community page, a poll that I started a couple of days ago. And after 707 votes, and still running, you can participate on it, 94% of you guys have voted that Timo Werner needs to start. That's huge numbers, and we'll look into another poll very soon. It's very difficult to drop him at the moment. It really is. You have to, whatever is not broke, don't try and fix it. You need to see how this pans out. If we can get some sort of consistency from Timo Werner, it's a spanner in the works. We have to think about, well, was it really bad form, which we might have been, but was it also to do with how we are set up for this particular player? We need to think. We get emotional at times. I get emotional at times as fans. And as fans, that's what we do. But we do need to think deeper about this situation. Thomas Tuchel and Timo Werner's recent performance, especially for strikers, things can be turned around in minutes, in moments. And this is the thing. Lukaku had that opportunity against Real Madrid in the first leg, that header. Things could have been changed had he just put that goal. At least we would have been closer to the situation of being at least 3-2 down as opposed to 3-1 down. But maybe Lukaku, we just need to find that one moment for him now to click things into gears. Because as I said, I personally don't think he's a bad player, but attitude-wise, maybe there's something that he needs to work on as opposed to Timo Werner. Thomas Tuchel on Romelu Lukaku's needing to take chances. For sure, he had a huge chance against Real Madrid at home, and things can go so fast. Nobody knows what this goal would have done for us if he had taken his chance with the late header in the first leg. This is what I was talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Football is strange like this. This is what I said in my intro. It's a strange situation. It can change like that. Look how quickly Timo Werner has changed our thought process a little bit. None of us are saying that, oh, he's back or anything like that. I'm certainly not saying that, because for me to say Timo Werner is back, I need at least good till the end of the season. Till the end of the season, whatever games we have remaining. If he kills it 90% of those games, I can then start thinking, do you know what? Maybe, just maybe, we probably didn't play to a particular style that is more conducive to him. I still remember when we played Southampton the first time with 2 up front with Lukaku and Timo. Timo did really well. Whenever we play with that, that partner for Timo, and I think I can be with Mason just behind, I think we can get something out of Timo Werner. Similarly with Lukaku as well. We shouldn't we shouldn't put that aside. But then again, I know a lot of people, you guys are fed up with Lukaku, and rightly so. Rightly so. I am too. But if we can somehow ignite this play, it's only to our benefit. Do you know what I mean? Like we need players that are gonna bang in goals. Yeah, hopefully, we make it to the FA Cup final. We've got Liverpool waiting there. We need to beat Liverpool. We need to. We don't want to get into a situation where Pulisic is missing or Mason Mount is missing. We need to make sure that our strikers bang in the goals. After praise from Timo Werner in the last couple of pods from all our guests, does Werner deserve to start against Crystal Palace at Wembley? I feel it's a yes. It's a massive yes. He should start. After 3,990 votes, huge numbers, 94% is saying Timo Werner to start. A majority of the fan base is wanting Timo Werner to start. George Benson, ladies and gentlemen, Timo Werner has become that striker that I actually want to see succeed so badly at Chelsea more than any other striker. Just very likable bloke who evidently does have so much more to give. Delighted for him. I love that. I love that look. It's a nice picture of Timo Werner. Timo Werner posting that on his Twitter or Instagram. Timo Werner sat down half of Real Madrid defense before his goal. I mean, that goal against Real Madrid, ladies and gentlemen, that was a fantastic goal. He got an assist as well for Mason. It was a blockbuster match for Timo Werner, that particular match against Real Madrid. And I think we lost some sort of attacking impetus when he came off. And against Southampton, he really could have had 6. He scored 2, but he hit the post twice. One of the time when he hit the post, Kai Havertz was there to tap it in. So, look, it was sensational, that match as well. Timo Werner, when the chips were down, went to save his Chelsea career. For all my criticism, you've got to stand up and applaud that character. Game changed for worse when he came off. Now needs to show that level of consistency. Exactly what I was saying, ladies and gentlemen. Needs to show that that consistency till the end of the season for us to make some sort of a judgment. And 100% when his career was on the line, at the biggest stage, the man fought for Chelsea against Real Madrid. He was a warrior. I like that. I absolutely love that. Now, I want to quickly just demonstrate why maybe things are working out a little bit now for Timo Werner. Look, this is our traditional sort of 5 at the back, wing back scenario. Let's get the wing backs up somewhere over here. You've got the double pivot, and in this situation, Timo Werner generally plays here. Now, as you can see, being the widest player on the left side, there's a lot to do for him. There's a lot. And he ain't, as I said, as a Ousmane Dembele, as a Rafinha, or even Jared Bowen for West Ham on the left side. And there's many other players, many wingers. Even Ferran Torres for Barcelona, the kind of madness I saw him do, take on players from here, beating a player, he going into the box. That's not Timo Werner, okay? And the combination with him and whoever is on this side, let's say Alonso, it does not get the best out of him having Alonso just over there, because Alonso as well wants to be the widest player, wants to be out wide, high up and wide. Now, a lot of people can say, well, why doesn't Timo start in this sort of location? But I guess the back 5 at times, it makes it difficult. It just pushes Timo Werner in these sort of areas, and then Alonso tries to help out, build up from the back and help in midfield areas, and then he looks to overlap. But by then, Timo's movements are not that great as when he's absolute wide. He's not a winger for me. However, now when you change this around, right? When you change this around, and when you have a situation where we are playing more as a back 4, and we have our fullbacks, say in this case, we've got Reece James, and we play more like this, more as a diamond. You got the base there, and you got the players there. So let's say something like that, and in this case, let's say it's Ruben Loftus-Cheek. It could very well even be Ziyech, to be honest. If it's Ziyech, Ziyech is probably going to be something like that. And Reece James will have to look for the overlap at times. But Ruben Loftus-Cheek is more or less around here, Reece James around there. Alonso more or less around here, and then you've got Mason Mount. Now, what this does, ladies and gentlemen, is that it allows Werner to be more closer to the striker. So whoever you want to play there, in this case, Havertz, Mason Mount in the middle, this combination has more dynamism. It allows Werner to have the link up more in a more sort of clinical fashion, quicker one-touch passes to Mount or Kai, movements around here. These players can move around like this, and then Mount can find those spaces in between. He can find space over here. He can find space over there on the left side. And it just allows Timo to be far more dynamic, and it allows for Alonso to attack these areas as well, unscathed, like without any interruption where Werner is blocking his ways. This is the thing. Football is about ensuring they utilize your space properly and that you're not overlapping each other constantly and taking each other's position. And this allows Alonso to come into these areas, allows Werner to be more in these areas, and Mount to find these positions, and Kai as well. So, and then you've got Kovacic helping out in these areas to be, provide another extra body for these particular players up front. It just, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, lots of movement, lots of bodies. It just allows for Werner to have more option, utilize his assets, which is, the link up with those players, movement, pace. We've seen recently what he was capable of doing against Real Madrid. Allows for Werner to find those passes for Mount to open up those space. Allows for Werner at times to hit these areas and then create chaos and coming back in. And then have those support system in and around him with Alonso and Kovacic and Mount. So look, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's not a coincidence that our tweak in the last couple of matches has seen players like Timo Werner and even Mason Mount light up. And similarly, I feel like we can do something for Lukaku as well. But as I said, the attitude is the biggest problem for me with Lukaku, whereas Werner, it's not really the attitude. The hard work ethic is always there. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know what your thoughts are. What your thoughts about Timo Werner? Are you in a conundrum, I suppose, where you're thinking, is there a future for Timo Werner, perhaps? Or do you want to see a few more games to make that judgment? Don't want to jump the gun, all of a sudden, his first touch is looking good. His finishing is looking a lot better. Yes, he's missed a few, but Real Madrid, he was clinical. Are you in a position where you're thinking, was it the system that didn't get the best out of some of these attackers? And I'm not having a go at Thomas Tuchel. He did what he had to do to make us solid. He was thinking about making sure that we're tough to beat and we can get something up front, grab a 1-0, 2-0, and then we'll see what we can do in the summer with the right players that he wants. But in recent times where he's tweaked a little bit, it's worked out. So let me know your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. If you've enjoyed this video, smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time. See ya.